For our next story, let's begin with a graph. It really sums up the whole thing. This is the share price of WeWork. I'm sure you've heard about this company. It provides shared working spaces. In January 2021, WeWork shares were healthy. Look at the price, more than $400 per share. But since then, it's been a constant and rapid decline. Look at what it's worth today, just $1. So from $400 to $1 in just 2 years. Reports say the company is filing for bankruptcy. They haven't confirmed it yet, but rumor is it could happen next week. So the obvious question is, what happened? Why did WeWork not work? Let's look at the company's history. WeWork was founded in 2010. Their idea was quite interesting. Normally, office buildings are rented out by companies, maybe a floor, maybe the entire building, but the rented area used to be exclusive. Only that company worked there. But WeWork tried something new. They created office floors, lounges, desks, and meeting rooms. You could just pay and use them. If you want just one desk, you can get that. If you want a meeting room, same thing. The idea was to share the work area. It was supposed to attract freelancers, also companies that could not afford full-fledged offices. So for a while, it worked. WeWork was valued at $47 billion in 2019. It became a startup success story. But how did things go wrong? Well, the pandemic was one reason. Coming to office did not make sense anymore. So coming to a shared office made even less sense. People just worked from home. And that was a problem for WeWork. They had long-term leases with the building owners. The average was around 15 years. But their customers had much shorter leases. The average was 2 years. Now, do you see the problem here? WeWork had to keep paying for 15 years, but their revenue stopped after 2 years. Hence the problem. But that alone did not collapse the company. Some really bad business decisions were made, like overexpansion. Just look at how many offices they had. 777 work locations, 39 countries. All of this while bleeding money. It was a rookie mistake. WeWork saw that their business model worked in some US cities, so they thought it will work everywhere. Well, newsflash, it did not. Shared workspaces are not just about economics, it's also about work culture, about employee preferences. The company forgot that, and now they're suffering. And it's not just geographic expansion, it's also the services. WeWork diversified into other things, like WeLive, which was called a residential utopia, and Rise by We. It was supposed to be a wellness network. Those things had nothing to do with workspaces, yet the company put money into them, and the result was this, a lot of debt. Their long-term loans are worth $3 billion. Their leases are worth $13 billion. And now WeWork cannot make those payments. Hence the reports of bankruptcy. Now the leadership must take the blame here, especially this man, Adam Neumann. He was the first CEO of WeWork. People say he was a very charismatic figure. He sold the idea of WeWork to investors. Japan's SoftBank was one of them, one of the investors. They've pumped tens of billions of dollars into this company. It wasn't enough though. In 2019, WeWork tried to go public. That's when their business model was put under the microscope. And experts realized it was not sustainable. As a result, the company's valuation plummeted. I said it was worth $47 billion in 2019. By 2021, it was worth just $9 billion. And today, around $140 million. Adam Neumann got lucky though. He exited the company in 2019. Guess what his payout was? $1.7 billion. This isn't just the story of WeWork though. It's the story of many startup firms across the world. Their CEOs expand too fast. They have no patience to build something that is sustainable. And in the end, they collapse. We have one in India too. It's called Byju's. But remember one thing. When companies go bust, it's not just a headline. It's also many lives destroyed. In 2019, WeWork fired 2,400 employees. And now many more jobs are on the line. So my point is quite simple. When you start a company, you also have a responsibility to your investors, to your workers, and to the society at large. It's not just about mindless expansion plans. Companies like WeWork did not just forget the basic rule of business, They forgot the basic rule of life. You sit first and then stretch your legs. If you get that order wrong, you end up on the floor.